a lot of people think of the adrenals and like cortisol and those stress hormones as related to stress. They don't think about it as much as it pertains to storing fat. So you talk about in your book how there's literally like a switch, like an on-off switch from going to fat storage versus fat burning. So what's happening there? Like how does somebody understand that? Okay, if I've got, it's not a matter of, it's not saying that cortisol is bad. It's just, the extremes are the issues. But how does cortisol, for the person who doesn't understand these hormones that well, how does that lead to us storing more fat or more visceral belly fat specifically?
Yeah, so cortisol has a cousin called cortisone. And cortisone's weak, cortisol's strong. Mm-hmm. So cortisol causes more storage than cortisone does. And that switch you were talking about, I call it the fat switch. It's got a long name I won't bore you guys with. But
fat switch is good.
Fat switch is good. But it converts cortisol to cortisone and vice versa. So your body makes some mild stress hormones, and that switch converts them into strong storage hormones. And it's something that it served our ancestors during times of famine. When there was less food available, the body had this storage response that allowed it to take more of the same calories and store it. And how it happens is that you can take food and make it down into glucose, free fatty acids, amino acids, all the little subtypes of it, and those can get drawn into your muscle, in which case your muscles will grow or you'll get energy from that, or that can get diverted to the fat, so you store it. I almost think about like at the train tracks, like a switch yard, where you've got a train that can go this way or it can go this way based on how that switch is flipped.
Yeah.
So you have the same fuel goes and creates growth within fat cells, especially visceral fat, or it goes over there and it creates active energy inside the muscles based upon how cortisol and cortisone are being metabolized.
So this wouldn't happen with an acute stress. Like you get, somebody jumps out of an alleyway and you're like, oh my God, I'm scared. You're not going to store belly fat all of a sudden. But this is something that is just like a chronic day in and day out type of permeating stress that eventually leads to this.
Yeah, and that's a great distinction to make because oddly enough, that jumping out of the alley thing is probably good for us.
Yeah. Wake us up a little bit.
We're probably healthier to have some types of acute, abrupt episodes. That's kind of what exercise is. Exercise pushes your body into a beneficial type of a stress state. But yeah, it's the day in, day out grind. It's the things that don't really stop or go away or just keep on persisting and they accumulate. So we think about fight or flight, but it's fight or flight and also famine. Yeah. It's also the body preparing for famine. So yeah, not so much just the acute things like you said.